prop selection, it seems really confusing, but to be honest, there's only 2, maybe 3 props that would suit this engine, and working out the right prop for your engine is really simple. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in this video. So when we're talking about props, exactly what a prop is, it's like the gearbox to a car for a boat. So it has 2 readings on it. When you read the side of a prop, my little Yamaha here has a 9/7/8 diameter prop. So the first reading is the diameter of the prop, and the second reading is the pitch. It's a 12-inch pitch. It also has an F after it, which is Yamaha props have different series like the F series and the P series and stuff like that. So don't worry about that F. It's just the diameter and the pitch, and the pitch is probably the most important. And what that 12 means is that every time that prop turns in the water, if it had 100% efficiency, which means if it gripped the water 100%, it'd move the boat 12 inches with every revolution. And that determines the load that the engine's going to have, and I'll explain. You can see here I've got 2 different props. One's got a 13-inch pitch, and the other one's got a 21-inch pitch. And the 21-inch pitch, you can see by the angle of the blades, it's going to be under a lot more pressure to rotate than that 13-inch pitch. The 13-inch pitch will rotate fairly easily because of the angle of the blades isn't anywhere near as acute as what the 21-inch pitch. The blades on the 21-inch pitch are at like a 45-degree angle, therefore the pressure it's going to take to rotate that pitch is so much more greater than what it would to rotate the 13-inch pitch. So the horsepower of your engine will largely determine the pitch of your prop. My small 30 horsepower engine has a 12-inch pitch, where my larger 70 horsepower engine has a 14-inch pitch. So my 70 horsepower engine is supposed to have a rev range sitting between 5,300 revs and 6,300 revs. But if I'm achieving over 6,300 revs, then my engine's spinning too fast, and that could damage the engine. So by increasing the pitch, I put more load on the engine, and I stop the engine from spinning over 6,300 revs. I always feel that it's good to achieve the upper limit of the rev range. So if the rev range is between 5,000 and 6,000 revs, you'd want to be over about 5,500 revs. Otherwise, your pitch is a little bit too deep and you're putting your engine under too much load. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to get the boat up to full speed, and I'm going to get it up to a good trim setting. And so when the boat's sitting really nicely in the water, I'm just going to see what sort of maximum rev range I can get out of this boat to see if I've got the right prop on there. Okay, so as you saw there, 6,200, it just nudged it once. It sat on about 6,100 for a little while, and that is absolutely perfect. If I was to change the prop, I would over rev it, or if I went down a pitch, it'd over rev it by about 200, and if I went up a pitch, it'd under rev it by about 200. Most boats like to sit between 5,000 and 6,000 revs. I would still like to see a boat not labour too much, so be closer to that 6,000 rev mark than it would be the 5,000 rev mark. So what if I did change the pitch of my prop? If I went from a 14-inch pitch to a 15-inch pitch, that'll move 15 inches every rotation, and not accounting for slip. So wouldn't it make the boat go faster? Well, you've got to take into account you're going to drop your rev range as well. So if you're going to be rotating 200 or 300 times less every minute, but you're moving an inch more every revolution, maybe you'll move a little bit quicker, but you've got to take into account the whole picture. So look, if your boat is in the right rev range, and as I mentioned on the water, the upper rev range is a better way to go because you've got less load on your boat, then you've got the right prop. So with all the basics said and done, what about diameter, prop slip, stainless steel versus aluminium, all that sort of stuff? Well, all that's really pretty simple as well. Diameter is pretty straightforward. Most manufacturers will match a diameter according to the pitch to a ratio of around 1:1. So it's about, for small boats, it's about 0.8 to about 1.1. And how you get that ratio is just divide the diameter by the pitch. So if you've got, like my prop in my boat is almost 1:1, it's about 0.97 to 1, I think it is. So it's a 14-inch pitch, but it's got a 13 5/8 diameter. So it's pretty close to a 14-inch diameter and 14-inch pitch. Now I could drop that prop down to another prop that Yamaha offer, and that's a 13.5-inch diameter up to a 15-inch pitch. So a 13.5 by 15 has still got a ratio of 0.9 to 1. So you can see how the ratio of about 0.8 to 1.1 is about right. If you're really keen, you can work out the slippage of your prop as well. Prop slippage is usually around 10 to 15%. A little bit above that's not the end of the world. A little bit below that's amazing. But because props don't work through a solid, they work through fluid, there's going to be a fair bit of slippage. So 10 to 15% is pretty normal. Have a look at these tables and you can work out what your slippage is. And if you've got a heavy boat and you've got a small diameter prop, and they do offer a slightly larger diameter prop, and you get a lot of slippage, then maybe think about going up in diameter of prop to get just that bit more torque, bit more grip on the water. What about stainless steel versus aluminium? Look, the only thing I'm going to say about that is stainless steel is really designed for much bigger boats, or bigger engines I should say, because anything over about 140 or 150 horsepower needs a stainless steel prop on it, because the power of the engine will actually flex the aluminium blades, so they come out with stainless steel props on from standard. Look, you can get small stainless steel props for small boats, 40, 50, 60, 70 horsepower, no problem at all, but they are pretty heavy to spin on such a small engine, because stainless steel is obviously a lot more heavier than aluminium. And a lot of people will tell you aluminium props are great if you're fishing in shallow water and stuff like that, because if you hit anything, it's going to damage the prop and not the engine. But you can get stainless steel props with a bush in them, and they're pressed stainless steel props, and that way you'll damage the bushing and stuff like that before it actually goes up through your engine and damage the gears and stuff on your engine. So look, don't worry about that too much. It's just a fact that, look, there's not a huge benefit in going to a stainless steel prop. They are more efficient and they are a better prop. But if I damage a prop, it costs me 150 bucks to replace it. But look, it's as simple as that. Understand what diameter and pitch is, and a lot of videos out there to show you all the funky ins and outs of props. But the bottom line is that if your boat is under revving, you need to go down a pitch size, so it'll take a bit of the load off. And if it's over revving, you need to go up a pitch size, so it'll load the engine up a little bit more, and that's going to save you a lot of fuel and make your boat go a little bit faster as well. So why wouldn't you want to do that? But that's what it's all about, is getting that rev range right. Once you've sorted that out, look, that's all you need to know about props. It's that easy.